Okay, good afternoon, students. Please let me know if you can hear me. Okay, excellent. So today we're going to review for final exam. So to review for final exam, like I mentioned last week on Tuesday during our Tuesday class, that you have to study the last two modules and I believe section 2.2 and 2.6. So the best way to get ready for the final is definitely practice problems from practice final exam. And that's what we're going to do today. I print those questions from practice final exam, so it will be easier for me to explain it by just sharing the screen and show you the PDF files I can write on it. Okay, so your final exam is this Thursday. We're going to start at 2 o'clock. I will give you a little more time than usually the regular test. So 1 hour, 30 minutes should be enough for the final exam. During the final exam, you're allowed to have 1 page of your own reference sheets where you can put the formulas, and you will know what to put on the reference sheets when you will be practicing problems from practice final exam. So that's why that will help you. So you will know what to put on the reference sheet, okay? Also, during the final exam, of course, you can use the calculator and a scrap paper. And our class on Thursday is going to be the last class. So that's going to be our last Zoom meeting. And then you will have to give me a time to grade your final exams, to grade your optional test number 5, switch the grades, which means replace your lowest test grade with the optional test number 5, and of course, enter the final exam grades. So when everything will be ready, I will send you a message that yes, what you see on the Canvas, the grade, the average which you see on a Canvas grading book, that's the grade which will be entered into Pasco Hernandez State College system. So before we start reviewing, if anybody has questions. Okay, so far no questions. So let me start reviewing with you guys, and of course feel free to ask questions anytime. If something has to be explained better, just stop me, because when I share the screen many times I don't see the chat. So when you're chatting on Zoom, since I'm sharing the screen and I'm flipping my laptop so I can write on it, I won't be able to see the chat. So just unmute your microphone and let me know that there is a message which I should read, or just speak up. Okay guys, so let me share the screen. Okay, so hopefully everybody can see the PDF file. So that's the problems from your practice final exam, and we will discuss, we'll go over hopefully most of them today. No. Okay, so the first question, a random sample of 30 college students is selected. Each student is asked how much time he or she spent on homework during the previous week. So the following times are obtained. So what you see here, you see 30 numbers. Okay, we ask n is equal 30. We ask 30 students how much times, how many hours they spent on doing homeworks for the during the previous week. So what you need to do, you need to fill up the frequency distribution table. So you need to type the frequency for each data value. So that's the last topics which we were studying. So x is equal 15. So from the given numbers, I'm going to check how many times number 15 repeats. So how many times number 15 repeats? So I have 1, 2, 3 numbers 15s. So frequency for number 15 will be 3. And then you will continue for the rest of them. So for example, when x is equal 17, that means when number is 17, you have to give me the frequency of 17. which means tell me how many times, how many numbers 17 we have it. Right, we have right here listed. So I have one number 17, and it's only one number 17. So only one student did homework for 17 hours. And then you will continue. I will just keep switching numbers. So 20, you have to give me the frequency for number 20. So the same thing, I'm going to check how many times number 20 repeats. Okay, so I have 3 so far. So I have 3 numbers 20s, that means frequency will be 3. So you will have to fill out that table. You have to write frequency for each given numbers in the first column. And how you will know that you solved this problem correctly, when you will have all the frequencies, when you will list all the frequencies, always check your work, add frequencies, and that should give you 30. Okay, when you will add all the frequencies, you should end up with 30, because here, right here, you have 30 numbers. So that's how you will know if you solve this problem correctly. Okay, so don't, it looks like it's an easy problem, but just always check your work. Okay, so for number two, we also dealing with frequency distribution table. So here we have a random sample of 34. Okay, so random sample of 34, that means if you will add all those frequencies together, that will give you 34. That means we have 34 numbers. So the numbers with which we're working are right here. And frequency just tells you how many times each number repeats. So we have random sample of 34 male college students is select. Each student is asked his height to nearest inches, and the heights are shown in the frequency distribution table. Okay, so we have height right here. That's going to be our x values and frequency. Okay, so what that means, that we have height 66, so 66 inches, and the frequency is equal to, that means we have 2 students with the height of 66. So now what you need to do, you need to select histogram, which represents the frequency distribution table. So on the histogram, okay, you will have to just check that this is our x-axis. So here, like you see, this is the height of the students. Frequency, that's going to be always your y-axis. The y-axis represents frequency. So that's going to be the height of the bar. So you will just have to check which histogram is correct. In this case, it's going to be answer B, and I'm just checking for height 66. So height 66. Frequency is equal to, so that means the height of the bar should be 2. So this is good. Now for height 67, right here, frequency is equal 3. So the height of the bar should be 3. So it's correct. Then for 68, frequency is equal 5. So the height of the bar should be 5 right here. So it's correct. And 69, frequency is equal 1. Okay, so like you see, this is the correct solution. So the correct answer is B. You will just have to match frequency distribution table with correct histogram. Just remember that the height, it's your x-axis, the frequency is always the y-axis. And then the second part of this graph, you need to select a polygon which represents the frequency distribution table. So you need to select the polygon. Okay, so you're going to do, it's also going to be answer B. So you're going to do exactly the same type of work. You're going to keep checking your points. X, so the first one we have 66, 2. So when X is equal to 66, frequency Y is equal to. Then for 67, we have 3. So 67, 3. For 68, we have 5. For 69, frequency is equal 1. For 70, frequency is equal 4. Okay. For 71, frequency is equal 8. For 72, frequency is equal 3. For 73, also frequency is equal 3. 74, frequency is equal 2. And 75, frequency is equal 3. So this is polygon. You connect those points. And then the last point has to be connected with the x-axis, and the first point should be connected with the x-axis. To save yourself time during the test, when you will select correct histogram, you can quickly see what will be the shape of the polygon. So I'm drawing the points in the middle of each bar, okay? And if I will connect them, you're going to see the shape of the frequency polygon. And like you see that this is exactly the same like graph B. So question number 3. So here we have a random sample of 40 college professors. So 40 college professors, that means that you have 40 numbers right here, okay? And those numbers represents the age of college professors, okay? And what you will need to do, you will need to know how to construct stem and leaf plot, okay? So the first column is given, so stem is equal to, so that means for leaves, we're going to list the ones digits of the professor's age who are in their 20s. So when you create the stem and leaf plot, you're searching for your numbers from left to right, okay? So I'm looking for the numbers in 20s because stem is equal to. So the first number in 20s, it's 22. So leaf will be ones digits, 2. Then let me see if there is more numbers in 20. The next one, it's 21. So leaf will be 1. Then the next one, it's 22. So the leaf will be just the ones digits. So we have 2. And the next one, it's 28. So the leaf will be 8. And that's it. And then I will continue with 3, which means I need to list all the numbers in 30, starting from 30 to up to 39. So I'm searching for those numbers from left to right. So the first number in 30, it's 32. So the leaf will be 2. I'm entering ones digits. The next number in 30s is 39. So in the row for leaves, I'm entering 9 ones digits. Then 38, you will enter 8. Then 30, you will enter 0. Then 34, you will enter 4. Then 33, you will enter 3. Then you have again 33, so you will enter that 3 twice. Okay, so here, if the numbers are repeat, you're still entering them twice. Okay, and then 36, so we're putting 6 as a leaf, and 34, so we're putting 4, and 38. So just remember, for stem and leaf plot, like you see, I'm keeping the same order as the numbers were presented to me. Okay, so I'm working from left to right. And you will continue with that with the remaining numbers. And then they asking, what does the shape of the display reveal about the age of the professors? So you will know that when you will continue, when you will complete the stem and leaf plot, at this moment, it looks like a lot of the professors are in their 30s, but I have not completed that problem to the end, so I cannot say that that will be the correct answer. So let me just quickly check. This one was question, that was question 3. So I'm going to quickly check because I have the answer key with this one. Question 3. So actually it's going to, if we will continue, it's going to be, it looks like the most college professors are in the 40s. Okay, so we have more numbers in 40s. And you will see that, you will be able to see that when you will complete STEAM and leaf plot. Okay, so actually it's going to be B. So next one, question number 4, you need to describe what is misleading in the visual display of the data. So here we're talking about the circle graph. So the circle graph, like you see the pieces of the circle, the sectors of the circle. So each sector represents the percentage. So the red color tells you that there is 29% right here. Oops. Okay, so right here, I can tell that this graph is wrong because half of the circle, it's not 29%. Half of the circle should be 50%. So here they show that the red color represents 29%. So I can see that there is some issue with the percentage. Green, it's 4%. Purple, 5%. Yellow, 6%. And orange, 9%. So we all know that when we're dealing with percentage, the percent should add up to 100, okay? So when you have a circle graph, the percent should add, so you should add percent, and you always should end up with 100%. So what is wrong with this pie graph or circle graph, that when you will add percentage together, when you're going to add those percentage together, you will end up only with 57%. So this is wrong because all circle graphs, the percentage, the sum of all percentage should give you 100. Okay, so we're going to say it, the correct answer will be here, answer D, that the percentage do not add up to 100. Okay. So this graph is just wrong. Then question number 5, we need to find the mean. So mean, to calculate mean, we adding all the numbers together. So this is the formula which we learn, sigma x divided by n. Sigma means that we adding numbers together. Okay, so we adding all the x values. So we have 85 plus 25 plus 55 plus 25 plus 45. And n tells you how many numbers we have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So n is equal 5. So I'm adding all the values and I will need to divide by 5 because we have 5 numbers. So that's how you calculate the mean. And of course you will continue, you will simplify that. What is important during the final exam, that you always reading those information. You will know how you have to express your solution. In this case, you're going to enter your solution as integer or decimal. So let's say if you will end up with 1/2, you should enter your solution as 0.5. Question number 6, you have to find mean for frequency distribution table. So mean for frequency distribution table, let me give you the formula to calculate mean. So x hat, that means mean, it's equal sigma x times f divided by n. Okay. So let me just refresh your memory here. You're only going to use this formula when you have to find the mean for frequency distribution table, and that's what we have. Sigma means that we will be adding, okay, x times f, that means you have to multiply each x value by its frequency. So I'm going to rewrite this frequency distribution table for you guys. So x, I'm just going to put that table vertically. and frequency f. So I have x equal 1, frequency is equal 2. Then when x is equal 2, frequency is equal 1. When the x is equal 3, frequency is equal 5. When x is equal 4, frequency is equal 3. When the x is equal 5, frequency is 6. X equals 6, frequency is 6. And then we have 7 and 5. And last one, 8 and 3. Okay, so that's the frequency. So this is the same frequency distribution table. I just put it vertically because that's what we did in the class. So now to calculate mean, I need to add extra column and we need to find the product. We're going to calculate this, x times f. So x times f means that you're going to multiply each number by its frequency. So we have 1 times 2, and that will give us 2. Then we have 2 times 1, and that will give us 2. Then we have 3 times 5, that will give us 15. Then we have 4 times 3, that's 12. Then 5 times 6, that's 30. Then 6 times 6, that's 36. Then 7 times 5, we have 35. And 8 times 3, that's 24. Okay. So I multiply each number by its frequency. So now what we have it, in the formula, we have this symbol. Sigma means add the products. So when you multiply each value by its frequency, so to calculate that sigma x times f, we're going to add those products together. So I'm adding those products together. So we have 2 plus 2 plus 15 plus 12 plus 30 plus 36 plus 35 plus 24. Okay. So let me just add those numbers together, and that will give us 156. So now I can calculate the mean for frequency distribution table. Again, mean, it's equals sigma x times f divided by n. So we calculate that sigma x times f, that's 156, and you have to figure out what is n, and just remember that n, it's equal you adding the frequency. N is sum of frequencies. So if you will add all the frequencies together, you're going to add those frequencies together. That will give you the n. Okay, just remember. So n, it's equal, and when I add all the frequencies together, 2 plus 1 plus 5 plus 3 plus 6 plus 6 plus 5 plus 3, that will give you 31. Okay, so you're adding frequencies together. Okay, and the solution is 5.032. So this is how you calculate mean for frequency distribution table. We're only going to do that when frequency distribution table is given. So you always will have to create that extra column where you will multiply each number by its frequency, and then you will add those products. Okay, so that's the formula. Probably that's one of the formula which you want to put on your reference sheet. Next one is question 7. You have to find the mode. So find the mode. Mode means the number or numbers which repeats the most often. Okay, so let's see which number or which numbers repeats the most often. Okay, so 5.4, 8.8, 6.5. So I can see that I have two numbers, 8 and two numbers 6.3. Okay, so number 8 repeats twice and number 6.3 repeats twice. So in this case, we're going to have two modes, and that's going to be number 8 and number 6.3. So again, mode is a number or numbers which repeats the most often. Since both of them, 8 and 6.3, repeats twice, that's why we have two modes. Okay, next one is number 8. You have to find mode from the frequency distribution table. So you have to remember that when they give you frequency distribution table, that's your numbers. X represents the numbers. Okay, we have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Frequency only tells you how many times each number repeats. Okay, so we're using frequency distribution table just for shortcut, because like you see, for X equal 1, that means has frequency 5. That means number 1 repeats 5 times. X equal 2 has frequency 4. That means we have 4 numbers too. So frequency distribution table is just a shortcut, okay? And so on. So now you have to tell me, you have to find the mode. So your solution, it's going to be one of the numbers from the first row, your X value. So to see what is the mode, I'm checking which number repeats the most often, which means which number has the highest frequency. So the highest frequency is 7. Okay, the highest frequency is 7. So highest frequency is 7. That means number 6 repeats 7 times. So number 6 repeats the most often. That's why number 6 will be mode. So I want to quickly mention that many mistakes happen with this question and students entering the frequency. Now, you have to remember that frequency just tells you how many times number 6 repeat. So your mode must be number 6. Number 6 repeats 7 times. So this is our mode. The number which repeats the most often, which means the number with the largest frequency. Next one, number 9, you have to find the mid-range. So here you have mid-range formula, minimum plus maximum divided by 2. So in our case, to calculate that mid-range, I'm going to find the lowest number, the smallest number, which is 85, plus the largest number, which is 91, and I will divide it by 2. And of course, you will just calculate that. Now, question 10, you still have to find the mid-range. They give you the frequency distribution table. Okay, so for mid-range, we don't really need to know the frequency. Okay, so they're trying to distract you a little bit. Okay, that's why I'm just crossing this out. Mid-range, it's the lowest number plus highest number divided by 2. So mid-range, again, the same formula, minimum number plus maximum number divided by 2. So the smallest number, it's number 8, plus the largest number, that's number 15, and you will divide that by 2. And we end up with 23 divided by 2. So 11.5. Okay. Number 6, you have to do the same type of work. You have to find mean, median, mode, and mid-range. And here they give you the numbers. So you're working with those numbers. Okay. So in this problem, I can tell you that those numbers, they already organize actually from largest to smallest. So we're just going to look that way. 29 is the smallest one and 20 is the largest one. So first question, they asking you to find mean, okay? So we need to find mean. So we remember that mean, we will add all the numbers together. So the formula for mean is sigma x divided by n, which means you will add all the numbers together. So 220 plus 99 plus 92 plus 65 plus 55 plus 55 plus 51 plus 46 and so on. So you will add all the numbers and divide by n. So in our case, n will tells you how many numbers we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we'll be dividing by 13. Okay. So that's mean. We adding all the numbers and we dividing by 13. Next, they will ask you to find median. So we didn't find median yet. Median means number in the middle. So you have to find the number in the middle. So we have 13 numbers. So this is what you can do. I cross one from the top, bottom one from the top. And I can do that because those numbers I organized already. So I'm looking for the middle number, and you can see that the median will be number 55. Number 55, it's in the middle, okay? Also, you can use that median position if you want to. You can just do it that way. Or if you want to figure out which number is median. So we learned that the formula position of median, it's the formula n plus 1 divided by 2. So we have 13 numbers. So we have 13 plus 1 divided by 2. So 14 divided by 2, you have 7. So number 7 should be median. Just remember, if you're planning to use that formula, you're going to count from smallest number to largest one. So this is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7. So this is our median. Median is in 7th position. So the median is the 7th number. Counting from lowest. So median is equal 55. Okay, that's the median. If you will have two numbers in the middle, to find that median, you will add those numbers together and divide by 2, the way we did it in the class. So that was median. Then they will ask you to find mode. So mode, number or numbers which repeats the most often. So let's see if we have mode, if there are any numbers which repeating. And I can see that we have two numbers 55 and two numbers 92. So 92 repeats twice, 55 repeats twice. So we have two modes, number 55 and number 92, because those two numbers have the largest frequency, which means they repeat the most. And so we find everything, median, mode. Oh, they will ask you also to find mid-range. So mid-range. Again, we're using the formula, minimum number plus maximum number divided by 2. So in our case, the lowest number is number 29, plus the largest number, which is 220, and you will need to divide it by 2. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Next problems, we're moving to probability, which is our unit modular 4. Okay, hope that you guys doing well. I don't hear any questions. So let me just continue. Let me share that screen again. Okay. Okay, so question 12. Ice cream store sells 2 drinks, 4 sizes, 8 flavors. And question, in how many ways can customer order drink? The question in how many ways means that you're going to multiply the choices together. So what we need to do, we need to multiply 2 times 4 times 8, and that's going to be our solution. So 64 is the answer. So all the time the questions and how many ways you can do something, you multiply the choices together. Question 13, a 6-sided die, its roll. The set of equally like outcomes is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's all possibilities when we roll a die. Find the probability of rolling number less than 11. So you have to find the probability of rolling number less than 11. So let's just review probability. Probabilities, that's the numbers from 0 to 1. So probability is equal 0 when it's impossible for something to happen. Probability is equal 1 when 100% chance, we have 100% chance that something will happen. So probability that you will have final exam on Thursday, it's going to be equal 1. It definitely is happening, it will happen. So in this case, we have to find the probability of rolling number less than 11. Since all the numbers are less than 11, so the probability will be equal 1. Okay, so this is the example that this is 100% happen. Okay, all the numbers are less than 11. That's why whatever you will get whatever number you roll, you're always getting something what is less than 11. So probability is equal 1 because that's 100%. That's we have 100% chance that that will happen. Question 14. So make sure that you will review your cards. We're dealing with the deck of cards. There are 52 cards in a deck. Find the probability of being dealt a heart. Okay, so you want to review that. Okay, so there are 13 cards with the heart on it. Okay, so the probability of rolling heart, since there are 13 cards which have heart on it, divide by the total amount of cards. So it's going to be 13 divided by 52. So make sure that you will always reduce your solution, reduce your fraction. So on your calculator, you should know how to simplify your fractions. So 13 divided by 52, both numerator and denominator can be divided by 13. So the solution should be entered as 1/4. Okay. Okay, if you struggle with simplifying fractions, okay, on calculator you will type 13, then press division, divide by 52, okay, you will hit enter. And then you will select second button, that's the blue one, the first one on a calculator, and select PRB button, because on top of it you see fraction to decimals. So second PRB, and you will hit enter, and your calculator should show you 1/4. Okay, so you will know that your fraction can be reduced. Okay, we're moving to question 15. So we have a table shows distribution of 29.7 million people. So the total amount of people is 29.7. This is the number right here in the corner. Okay, and you have to use the data in the table to find the probability that randomly select person in the region is a woman in 18 to 24 age range living alone. Okay, so probability that I will select a woman in that age, 18 to 24. So when you look in the table, woman, so that will be female, age 18 to 24. So that will be 0.6 divide by total. You always in probabilities divide by total. So the total amount of people in that table, it's 29.7. This is the number right here in the corner. Okay, and that will give you 0.02. Of course, on a final exam, you want to read it. They want you to round to nearest hundred. Nearest hundred means leave two numbers after decimal point. And I know that has to be reviewed because I keep getting those questions. So if you will have on your calculator 0.0251 something. So if you will have to round it to nearest hundred, two numbers after decimal, if after your second number you see the digits 5 and larger, that will have to be rounded to 0.03. Okay. If you have infinite amount of numbers after decimal, you need to round it to nearest hundred. If the next digit is a number less than 5, then you just copy what you see. So in this case, will be 0.02. And I want to review that because I'm getting also those type of questions. So I want to make sure that you guys will enter your answer correctly. So question 16. Okay, so here this is educational attainment of the country population age 25 and over. So we need to use the data we'll express in millions to find the probability that randomly select citizen age 25 or over had 4 years of college. So find the probability of selecting citizen age 25 or over who had 4 years of college. Okay, so let's look into that table. Citizen, so it means it doesn't matter what is the gender. We're going to look for people age 25 or over who had 4 years of college. 4 years of college, so people with 4 years of college. So that's going to be 44 million, okay? They said citizens, so it doesn't matter which gender. So total amount of people with 4 years of college, it's 44. And we're going to always divide by total. Your total, it's always the number right here, the last one in the corner. So you will divide by 160, okay? And here they ask you to type integer or simplify fractions. So you want to check on your calculator if you can simplify this fraction. So we have 44 divided by 160. And then I click second PRB, enter, and this fraction can be simplified. The solution should be entered as 11 over 40, okay? Next one, you're dealt one card from 52 card decks. Find the probability that you are not dealt a non-picture card. Okay, so not dealt a non-picture card. So this is double not contradiction, not and not. So find the probability of not selecting non-picture card. So we know from English to know means yes. So that means find the probability of selecting picture card. So picture card, okay, picture card, that's going to be jacks, queen, king. Okay, we have 3 types of pictures cards, but we have to remember that in a deck of cards we have 4 jacks, 4 queens, and 4 kings. So the total amount of picture cards will be 4 plus 4 plus 4, which is 12, divided by 52. Okay. So probability of not selecting non-picture card, this is just saying, using simple English, probability that you will select picture cards. So picture cards are jacks, queen, and kings. Each type of card repeats 4 times. So there are 4 jacks, 4 queens, 4 kings. So it's 12 divided by 52. And again, you can simplify that on a calculator or in your head. But to simplify this fraction, that's going to be you can reduce both numbers by 4 and you will end up with 3/13. Okay. Question 18. We have to select 1 card from 52 card decks. Find the probability of selecting the 10 of hearts or 2 of diamonds. So you have to calculate the probability that you will select 10 of hearts card or 2 diamonds, 2 with a diamond. So R in probability, R means addition. So that means you have to calculate the probability that you select 10 of hearts plus probability of selecting 2 diamonds. I mean card number 2 with, okay. So this is mutually exclusive event. So there is 1 card, 10 of hearts. So the probability that I select 10 of heart, it's 1 divided by 52. Or plus I may select the card which is card number 2 with the shape of diamond. So it's only 1 card like that out of 52. So we adding those 2 fractions together, copy the denominator. You have 1 plus 1, that will be 2 divided by 52. Of course, you need to simplify this fraction. Both numbers can be divided by 2, so the solution should be entered as 1/26. So that was the example of mutually exclusive events here. So here, if you want to put the formula, that was mutually exclusive events. Probability of A or B, it's equal probability of A plus probability of B. Okay. Question 19. That's going to be example of not mutually exclusive events. That means 2 events can happen at the same time. Okay. So the formula for not mutually exclusive events, which means both events can happen at the same time. So this is the same as previous formula. Probability of A or B, it's equal probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of both. In previous example, I didn't have that minus probability of both because it's impossible. There is no card which has 10 and 2 on it. Okay, that's why it was impossible. We had mutually exclusive events. Mutually exclusive events, there are 2 independent events. Not mutually exclusive events, we have dependent events, which means Two events can happen at the same time. So let's see how we can solve this problem, number 19. The table shows the educational attainment of population of Mars, age 25 and over, expressed in millions. Find the probability that randomly select Martian age 25 and over has complete 4 years of high school only or is a male. So you see that or, that means you will have to add the probabilities. So this is what we need to do. We have to calculate the probability that I will select a person who complete 4 years of high school. So 4 years of high school or is a male. So this is not mutually exclusive events because I can have a male who complete 4 years of high school. So like you see, those two events can happen at the same time. That's why I have to use the formula of not mutually exclusive events. So I follow that formula. We're going to calculate the probability that we would choose a person who complete 4 years of high school, plus I'm going to calculate the probability that we'll select male, and minus probability of both. So in our case, that probability of both, it's going to be male with 4 years of high school. So minus probability that I'm selecting male who have complete 4 years of high school. That means probability of both. Okay. So let's continue. Probability that we're selecting somebody who complete 4 years of high school. So 4 years of high school, okay, it doesn't matter what gender, 4 years of high school, we have 59 millions over the total. The total, like I mentioned to you guys, when the table is given, it's always the last number in the corner. So divide by 164. Plus, next I have to calculate the probability that we'll select male. So the total amount of male. So here we have male. The total amount of male. Again, here we not worry about educational status. The total amount of male, it's 81. Divide by total, which is 164, minus probability of both, which means male with 4 years of high school. So male with 4 years of high school. There is 29. So minus 29 over 164. So like you see, the denominator always stays the same. And you will have to simplify that. So you copy common denominator. And then you have 59 plus 81 minus 29. Let's just calculate that quickly. So we have 59 plus 81 minus 29. So I have 111 over 164. So they ask in type integer or simplified fraction. So this is simplified fraction. And you can always check, you can check on your calculator, 111 divided by 164, and try to simplify this fraction by clicking second PRB. And like you see, you're getting 111 divided by 164. So that means this is your simplest one. Number 20. A single die it's rolled. Find the odds in favor of rolling numbers greater than 5. So we're talking about single die it's roll. So you can roll number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 4, number 5, or number 6. So find the odds in favor of rolling number greater than 5. Okay, so let me see how many numbers are greater than 5. It's only one number greater than 5. So the odds in favor of rolling number greater than 5, it's 1, 2. So you read that 2 to the rest of the numbers. So the remaining numbers are less or equal 5. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 remaining numbers. So the odds in favor of rolling number greater than 5. Again, it's only one number greater than 5. So that's why I put 1, 2. And the second number will represent the remaining numbers, how many remaining numbers you have, which means how many numbers less or equal to 5 will you have, which is 5. So 1 to 5, okay? I know it was a complicated formula for odds in favor, but in this case, this is just the easiest way to calculate odds in favor. 21, one card is select from deck of cards. Find the odds in favor of drawing heart. Okay, so the odds in favor of drawing hearts. Okay, so you have to remember, let me just show the image of deck of cards. So the question was, find the odds in favor of drawing a heart. Okay. So this is deck of cards. We have 52 cards. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, I just want to make sure that you guys can see that. Okay. You sure? Okay, so let me count how many cards have hearts on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 cards have hearts on it. So like you see, you have 4 different type of hearts, and they repeat 13 times. So I have 13 cards with the hearts. So the odds in favor of selecting a card with heart on it, it's going to be 13. And you have to remember that the total amount of cards is equal 52. Okay, so here you're putting the amount of the remaining cards. So what is the number of the, what is the amount of cards which do not have hearts on it? So from 52, subtract 13, and you will end up with 39. So 13 to 39, okay? So you will know that you're solving the odds in favor problems correctly, because when you will add 13 to 39, you always should end up with total. So there are 13 cards with the hearts on it, 39 cards which do not have hearts, okay, the remaining cards. And always you want to check if you can simplify. So this is correct, but 13 to 39, when we represent the odds in favor, this is the same as fraction 13 over 39. Okay, so you can simplify this fraction. Both numbers can be divided by 13, and we end up with 1 over 3. So we should enter the solution as 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is how we should enter that solution. So when you calculate those odds and favors, also make sure that you will simplify the fractions. And of course, you can use the calculator. Okay, next question with odds. Next question. So if you are given the odds of 7 to 8, in favor of winning a bet, what is the probability of winning the bet? So here I want to review the formula, how you can find the probability when the odds are given. So to find the probability when the odds are given, you're going to use the formula A divided by A plus B. So this formula you're going to use when the odds in favor are given. A is the first number, B is the second number. So odds in favor are given. We have to calculate the probability. So in our case, that's going to be 7 divided by 7 plus 8. So we have 7 divided by 15. And the solution, they want you to keep it as a fraction. So this is the answer. Okay, question 23. Which scatter plot indicates perfect negative correlation? Perfect negative correlation, you want to look for the scatter plots which the dots creates perfect negative line. Okay, so perfect negative correlation will be E. Okay, like you see, if I will connect all those dots, I will get perfect line, which is decreasing line. Okay, so that's E. 24, which scatter plot is R equal negative 0.3? R is the correlation coefficient, okay? Correlation coefficient, it's a number between -1 and 1, okay? So here you have negative correlation coefficient. That means you're going to only focus on the scatter plots which shows the shape of the decreasing line. So you only should consider question B or E, okay? So B, it's a strong negative correlation. So here we can say that R will be very close to number -1. I would say here R will be equal to -0.95, almost -1. So when you have like the perfect correlation, that correlation coefficient will be equal 1 or -1. Here we're talking about negative correlation. So here, since this is not perfect negative correlation, I would say low or moderate negative correlation. So this is R equal -0.3. So the correct answer will be E right here. So just to review that, that correlation coefficient. So example A, you see the scatter plot, but they don't show the dots are all over the place. That means the correlation coefficient is equal 0. So we don't have correlation. There is no relationship between the two variables. I explained B and E. In this case, correlation coefficient will be equal 0.3, positive 0.3, because the scatter plot, they actually can be represented by the positive straight line with the positive slope, the line which is increasing. Okay, here for F, those points create almost perfect straight lines. So here the correlation coefficient will be, let's say, something about 0.8, 0.85. And here we almost have perfect. Those points are almost on the same straight line. So here that correlation coefficient will be very close to 1. I will just say probably 0.9 or 0.95. Okay, so that will just give you the idea about how the correlation coefficient should look like when you have similar type of problems. Okay, so R equal -0.3, that's going to be E. Okay. Okay, so the scatter plots here, it's given, okay, and this is true false questions. So you have to check this one. They're saying that there is almost perfect positive correlation between per capita income and the percentage of people who call themselves happy. Almost perfect positive correlation. This is false, because almost perfect positive correlation will look like this. Those points should be almost all of them on the same straight line, and we don't have that here. So this is almost perfect, positive. We don't have that here, that's why this is false. Question 26, so you have a scatter plot. Also, you have to answer the question true or false. Okay, this is the same type of problem. So also will be false. 27, question 27, you just have to select which answer represents the definition of the scatter plot. So the scatter plot is a set of points representing data. So this is the definition of the scatter plot. Scatter plot is the set of points representing data. 28, how does a scatter plot indicate that two variables are correlated? So that means how the scatter plot indicates that two variables are in the relation. So the correct solution will be C. If the scatter plot shows clear trend, the quantities are said to be correlated. Any kind of trend will work. So we know that we can have positive correlation, negative correlation, strong, moderate, or low. So that's why this is important. This is your key point. Any kind of trend will work. So if the scatter plot, how does the scatter plot indicate that two variables are correlated? If the scatter plot shows clear trend, the quantities are said to be correlated. Any kind of trend will work. Question 29. Question 29, you have to find the slope. So you want to review the formula, slope formula. M is equal y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So this is slope formula. So you're going to label your points. 3 it's x1, 2 it's y1, 4 is x2, 5 it's y2. And you will substitute that into the formula. So we have 5 minus 2 divided by 4 minus 3. And that will give us 3 divided by 1, which is 3. So you will say A, the slope is 3. And slope is positive. That means the line rises from left to right. So A will be correct. Positive slope, that means the line will be rises from left to right. That's going to be the straight line. Okay, so also since we're reviewing slope, I want to mention that the line falls from left to right. So that means you will have the straight line like this. That's going to happen when the slope is negative. So when you will have, for example, m equal -3. The line is horizontal. So horizontal line right here, this is the shape of horizontal line. That's only happen when m is equal 0. Okay, so when the slope will be equal 0. So for example, just try to separate them. So example, you will calculate slope and you will have, let's say, 0 divided by 5. That's 0. Okay, and the line is vertical. This is important to review. The line is vertical, so this is the shape of vertical line, and that's happen when slope is undefined. So slope is undefined. That means when you calculate the slope, you will have to divide by 0. So we know that we never ever divide by 0, so this is undefined. Okay, so when your slope, when you will have to divide by 0, your slope will be undefined and you will know that you have vertical line. Okay, so just review that a little more. Number 30. So the same type of problems, I would just leave it. You have to find the slope. So let's move on to 31. you have to determine if the given point is the solution to a system. So this is your system. You have equation 1 and equation 2. And to check if the given point is the solution, you're going to substitute the coordinates of the given point into two equations. And if your equation is true, it's satisfied, that means the given point is the solution. So you will have to check both equations. I will check equation 1. So I substitute x with 0 and I substitute y with 0. So I have -4 times 0 minus 3 times 0, and I'm checking if that will give me 0. So we end up with 0 equals 0, so this is true. So that's what I want to have. So far, I know that 0, 0 is the solution of equation 1. But this point also has to be the solution of equation 2. So I'm going to check equation 2. I will substitute x with the 0, x coordinate of the given point, and y with 0 with the y coordinate of the given point. So we have -5 times 0 minus 2 times 0, and I'm checking if that will give me 0. So we end up with 0 equals 0, which is true. That means yes. 0, 0 is the solution to a system. Just remember, if you will end up true in equation 1 and false in equation 2, that means this point won't be the solution. To be the solution, the given order pair has to satisfy both equations. Okay, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to continue recording because there are a couple more problems. Probably it will take me 15 more minutes. But since I'm not going to have more meetings with you. So for those who have to leave, you can watch the remaining review later on when I will post the recording. I'm just going to stay longer if you can. You can stay with me on Zoom. I'm just going to stay longer and finish reviewing all the problems, okay? So those who can stay, you can stay. Those who cannot stay, I will see you guys on Thursday at 2 p.m. and please make sure that you will send me the picture of your reference sheet before the final exam so I can review that quickly so I can see what you have. Okay, so I appreciate that. So let me continue reviewing. See you. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to continue reviewing. Okay, right here. Question 32, we have to know how to solve system by substitution method. Okay, so substitution method. You need to solve either equation 1 or equation 2 for one of the variables. So I'm going to pick equation 1 because it looks easier to me. And I'm going to solve this equation for x. So I need to isolate x on the left side, which means I will have to add 2y to both sides. And that will give us x equal -3 plus 2y. Okay, so now substitution method, I'm going to use that expression -3 plus 2y, and I will substitute x from equation 2 with the expression -3 plus 2y. So now we're going to substitute -3 plus 2y into x from the equation which you didn't touch, which is from equation 2. So let's do it. So we have 2 times, we substitute x with -3 plus 2y minus 5y equal -10. So you have to remove the parentheses. 2 times -3 will give you -6. 2 times 2y will give you 4y minus 5y equal negative 10, and you're going to solve this equation for y. So I will combine like terms. 4y minus 5y, it's negative 1y. So I have negative 6 minus 1y equal negative 10. I need to solve for y, so I need to isolate y by adding 6 to both sides. So we have negative 1y equal negative 4. And to get y by itself, I divide both sides by negative 1. So we're getting y equal 4. Okay. So we have y coordinate of our solution. It's going to be one solution, the order per. Y represents the second coordinate. So we have y. Now we have to go back and figure out what is the x coordinate. So now I will go back. We know that x is the same as negative 3 plus 2y. So we're going to substitute y with number 4. And that will give us negative 3 plus 8, which is 5. So the solution is order per 5, 4. This is x, this is y. Okay, just make sure that you will type that in parentheses, 5, 4. So that means we have one solution. It's a point. Equation 1 represents straight line. Equation 2 represents straight line. Those two straight lines will intersect at the point with coordinates 5, 4. Okay, next one, you have to solve system by addition method. What is nice about this system that when you use the addition method, you want to add equations together. And you want to make sure that one of the variable has opposite coefficient. So here the system is nice because they give you the opposites already. So you're ready to add equations. You have positive 10y and negative 10y. So we're ready to add equations because y will cancel. So we don't need to multiply any of the equation by any number because we already have those opposites. So I'm adding equations together. 3x plus 4x will give you 7x equal 8 plus 6, and that's 14. So we will divide both sides by 7, and that will give us x equal 2. So again, it's going to be one solution, order per x comma y, so x equal 2, and to find y, pick any equation. So I will pick equation 1 and substitute 2 into x. So we have 3x plus 10y equals 6. So we know that x is equal to, so substitute x with 2. So we have 3 times 2 plus 10y equals 6. So this is 6 plus 10y equals 6. You're getting 10y equals 0, and then divide both sides by 10. So 0 divided by 10 is just 0. So the y coordinate of the solution is 0. So this is our solution, 2, 0. 34, you need to know how to solve inequality. So we need to solve this inequality. So isolate x by subtracting 3 from both sides, and we end up with x less than equal 6 minus 3, which is 3. So you will type x less than equal 3 as your solution. And now you have to select correct graph. So this is our x values. Your solution is that x is less than equal 3. Since you have inequality with equal sign, so 3 is part of the solution, plus all the numbers which are smaller than 3, less than 3. So we're looking for the graph which looks like the one which I just draw for you. So that's going to be D. 35, one more inequality to solve, negative 2x less than 6. So isolate x by dividing both sides by negative 2. Here you need to remember the rule that when we dividing by negative number, you switching inequality symbol to opposite. We only do that when we dividing inequality by negative number or when we multiplying inequality by negative number. So I reverse inequality symbol and 6 divided by negative 2, it's negative 3. So that's going to be our solution, x greater than negative 3. Okay, so remember, switch inequality symbol. Because divide, when you divide by negative. Okay, so now you have to check which graph will be correct. So x greater than negative 3. So on the number line, I select negative 3 with the open circle because we only have inequality. So negative 3, it's not a part of the solution. However, all the numbers greater than negative 3, which means all the numbers to the right from negative 3. So the correct solution will be D. Okay, next one, question 36, you need to solve the equation. So you need to solve for x. So first, what you need to do, you need to organize the left side. On the left side, you have 8x minus 9x. So 8x minus 9x, that will give you negative 1x. And I still have that plus 1 equal. On the right side, I have 9. And you have a minus in front of the parenthesis. So this minus, this is the same like multiplying by negative 1. So you have negative 1 times x, that will give you negative x, and negative 1 times 8, that will give you negative 8. Or you can just remember that minus in front of the expression will switch each sign to opposite. So x become negative x, positive 8 become negative 8. Okay, so now we have to solve this equation. So we need to solve for x, which means on the left side, I only want to keep x terms. So we have to get rid of positive 1 by subtracting 1 from both sides. So that will cancel. And you will end up with negative 1x equal, you have 9 minus x minus 8, and now minus 1. So let's organize that right side. So we have negative 1x equal, I'm going to combine like terms. So we have 9 minus 8, so that's 1 minus 1, that will be 0. So you have negative 1x, it's equal negative 1x. Let's talk about it. You have negative 1x equal negative 1x. So this is always true. You have identity. You have the same expression on the left side and the same expression on the right side. So that means we call that identity. Negative x is always equal to negative x. Since you have the same expression on the left and the same expression on the right side, so your solution to this equation is going to be the set of all real numbers, because this is always true. You didn't have something like negative x equal 5. You have negative x is equal to negative x, which means you have the same term on the left side, the same term on the right side. That must be always true. Okay, this is always true. The same thing, you will have the solution of all real numbers. If you will have, let's say, you're solving equation and you end up with 5 equal 5, or 10 equal 10, 20 equal 20. With those type of the equations, the solution is the set of all real numbers. Okay. 37, you need to solve the equation. So we have to solve for y. So I need to isolate y on the left side by adding 6 to both sides. So you have 8y equal 11y plus 9 plus 6 will give you 15. So we want to solve the equation for y, which means on the right side, we only keep numbers. So I need to get rid of that positive 11y by subtracting 11y from right and from left. So now I have 8y minus 11y that will give you negative 3y equal 15. And to solve for y, you will divide both sides by negative 3. And that will give you y equal negative 5. So we have one solution. So the solution set is, and on my MATLAB, you would just enter here negative 5. So you will have the equation, you will select C. The solution set, this symbol, I want to just quickly mention, means empty set, okay? You will have solution empty set. Let me just give you the example for empty set. You're solving equation, for example, and you end up with 2 equal 3. When you end up with something what is false statement. Okay, your variable will cancel, you end up something what is false. 2 is equal 3. Okay, so that's going to be the empty set. Okay, this is not 0, this is empty set notation. Okay, let's continue. Question 38. Okay, so use the dimensional analysis. So this is the last section which we'll learn to convert quantity to indicate units. So you have to convert 48 inches to feet. So here you want to remember, you need to remember that the hint will be that 12 inches, it's equal to 1 foot. So we need to multiply by unit rate. You want to create that unit rate. So your solution must be in feet. We need to leave the answer in feet. So our unit rate will have 1 foot as numerator, and the old units with inches will be in denominator. So you take that 48 inches and you multiply by unit rate. New unit stays in numerator, old unit stays in denominator. Okay, so let's do it. So this one, inches will cancel, and you end up with 48 times 1 foot divided by 12. So 48 divided by 12, that will give you 4 feet. Okay, so next one, number 39, you need to convert yard to inches. So here the hint will be, so this is something what you want to put on your reference sheet. The hint will be that 36 inch, it's equal to 1 yard. So I'm taking the 15 yards, and you have to multiply by unit rate. So you need to create that unit rate. So unit rate, your new units stays in numerators. Our new units are inches. So inches, 36 inch stays in numerator, 1 yard stays in denominator. So I multiply 15 yards by 36 inch over 1 yard. Okay, that's my unit rate. Again, remember that new unit stays in numerator. So now all the units will cancel across. So you have 15 times 36 inches divided by 1. So this is just 15 times 36, and that will give you 540 inches. Okay. Here we have to convert in metric system, so you don't need to worry about metric system because the table will be given. So we need to convert 18.6 hectometers. So you are here into meters. So you're going from hectometers to meters right here. So you're going from larger unit to smaller unit. So look how many times we have to move. 1, twice. So each time you move to the right, you multiply by 10. Even the table tells you. So I will need to multiply 18.6 since I multiply by 10 and multiply by 10. So this is just multiply by 100. And the solution will be 1860 meters. Okay, 41. We're going to convert in metric system. So we're going from, we have to convert 211.6 centimeters. So we're going from centimeters to hectometers. So you're going from smaller units to larger units. So I have to move to the left. And each time I move to the left, you need to divide by 10. So I will have to divide by 10, then divide by 10, then divide by 10, and then divide by 10. So this is the same, instead of writing divide by 10 4 times, so this is the same as dividing by 1, and you see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 zeros. So dividing by 10, dividing by 10, dividing by 10, dividing by 10, this is the same as dividing by 10,000, okay? So what that means, 4 zeros, that means you're moving your decimal point 4 places to the left. So the solution will be 0.02116, or you can just enter that in a calculator. 211.6 divided by 10,000, you will get that solution. And of course, that's going to be hectometers. Okay. So 42, also you don't need to worry about putting on your reference sheets the tables which shows how to convert English to metric system, because that's going to be given to you. So you need to convert 220 miles to kilometers. So we're going to use the hint that 1 mile is equal to 1.6 kilometer. So we need to multiply 220 miles by unit rate. Okay, so our unit rate here, new units are kilometers, so 1.6 kilometer is numerator, 1 mile will be denominator. So just remember that new unit stays in numerator, old unit stays in denominator. Okay, so miles will cancel, and what we're going to do, we're going to multiply 220 times numerator 1.6, and everything divide by 1. So the solution will be, this is 6.67. 6.67 kilometers. And of course, always pay attention how they want you to round it. Round to nearest hundred, so I keep 2 numbers after decimal. Number 43, we convert meters to yards. So we're going to use the information that 0.9 meter is the same as 1 yard. So we're taking those 6 meters and we multiply by unit rate. New unit has to be yard. So 1 yard stays in numerator, 0.9 meter stays in denominator. Meter cancel. So you have 6 times 1 yard divide by point. So this is multiplication. 6 times 1 yard divided by 0.9. So that will be 6 divided by 0.9, and that will give us, oops, I entered the wrong solution here. Here the solution was 352. Yes. And here the solution is 6.67 yards. Okay. And the last couple problems, a child is about how tall? Okay. So millimeters or super small units, 95 meters, impossible. So definitely 95 centimeters. 95 centimeters, this is a little less than 1 meter, okay? So definitely in centimeters. 95 meters, you have to think that like the tallest person will have 2 meters, okay? So that's why those 95 meters doesn't make sense. So the 45, Ted is driving near Tokyo and sees a road sign which gives the distance in the city. So choose the most reasonable measurement. So distance in metric system, it's definitely going to be, you're going to see signs which have kilometers. So 44 kilometers, okay. So when we're talking about driving distance, so here in United States, the driving distance we give in miles. In most of the countries, the driving distance is going to be given in kilometers. And that's it. Okay, so we review all of the problems. Hopefully that will help you to study. Again, I still recommend that you will practice those problems by yourself on MyMATLAB. But hopefully that review will help you. Okay, guys, so that's it for today. Thank you for those who stay with me longer. And I will see you on Thursday. Okay, so please, I know we went over all the questions, but now hopefully that will help you to complete your practice test by yourself. Okay, because of course you will be the one, you will see similar problems on the final exam, but you want to practice. Okay. Like you see, all the formulas from all those problems, I put it for you today during the review. So that's also can be your answer, what type of formulas I should put it. Okay, so the one which we actually went over today, that's something what you want to put on your reference sheet. So I will see you guys on Thursday. Just remember, please send me your reference sheet before the exam so I don't have any questions during the final exam. And we're going to start final exam sharp at 2 p.m. Also, please make sure that your cameras is working, okay? We don't want to start stressing ourselves that I don't see you, okay? Make sure that your camera on Zoom is on. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Richard. Bye, Teresa. Bye, everybody. Brendan, Ryan. I will see you on Thursday. Bye, guys.